Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Indian Life German Way. So guys, today I'm gonna talk about a new pension scheme that has been activated or has been introduced and will be active from 1st Jan 2027, and it's called Altersvorsorgedepot. So what is an Altersvorsorgedepot? It's a new pension scheme that would allow investors to invest in long-term ETFs. So before we deep dive into the Alters for Zoga Depot, I would like to briefly talk about the three main pillars of the current pension scheme system in Germany. So the first pillar is of course the state-owned pension, which is by default every employer is covered under this, and it's basically as part of your salary. Some deductions are already made towards this pension scheme, and then your companies are also paying for this. The second pillar is, of course, this is something offered by some of the companies. I know that from my past experience, there were some companies like Allianz where you get the possibility to apply for this additional pension, wherein you make some contributions and then your employer is making some percentage of the contributions. And then it's also like a layer on top of the state-owned pension scheme, and that it allows you to save more for your retirement. Now, the third pillar, which is being introduced, is this Alters for Zoga Depot, and this is quite revolutionary because of the advantages that it comes with. Yeah, but before I go into the advantages, I would like to briefly talk about why did Germany introduce such a new rule. Um, the one of the key reasons is that the Germany has a very aging population, as you might know. Yeah, and there are a lot of people who are going to be out of jobs, so basically getting into retirement in next years, and therefore there's a huge pressure on the current German pension system. There are also rumors that it might not be able to sustain so many people who would be then retiring in next few years, and therefore it adds to already existing pressures. So this Altersvorsorge Depot, it adds an extra layer of protection on an existing pension system. We need to understand, also keep in mind that the current pension system, the interest rates are really low because it's based on really low interest rates based products like bonds or yields. And with this Alters for Zoga Depot, you have now the possibility to invest through tools like ETFs. So you have platforms. So there will be in Germany coming up platforms, companies that would allow employees or people to start investing in this pension scheme. So let's look at the advantages. The first and biggest advantage is you're looking at higher returns because you are now exposed to ETF based solutions, ETF based platforms, ETF based investments, and therefore you have the possibility to earn more in the next 15, 20, 30 years till the time you are retiring. So this is basically ETF based wealth building for a longer time horizon. Yeah, and you need to keep in mind this is an optional pension scheme that you can or you cannot invest in. Of course, this is completely voluntary basis. Another big advantage is that you get with this Altersvorsorge Depot is that there's also subsidy behind. Yeah, because German government is also pushing for this. Therefore, for during the first 3 years, you have subsidies up to 540 euros per year, and then there is also a 300 euro per child subsidy per year. So in case you have two children, you can multiply it as well. So you have government pushing so that people are accepting this and also starting investing in this platform or this solution, and this definitely is a plus. Since we're talking about pension scheme, it's also important to keep in mind that this is a pension scheme, and it's completely based on longer time horizons, so till the time you're retiring, and therefore you would not be able to take out any money before your retirement age. Another point you want to keep in mind is that this also applies to self-employed individuals. So even people who have who are running their own companies or small businesses, they're also allowed to start investing in this. So it's very important to note that the new Altersvorsorge Depot, this new pension scheme, does not replace the existing register based pension scheme, the state owned pension scheme. So nothing changes in that regard. So this would be introduced, or this is, let's say, voluntary basis. So guys, that was it for today. I hope you found the video really useful. Please do consider liking, sharing and subscribing to my YouTube channel, and I will come back with new content soon. Thanks and have a nice one. Bye.